Before swords had names, before maps touched the oceans, humanity already feared something beneath the waves. Ancient texts describe a creature so vast, so unstoppable, that no weapon forged by man could wound it. It was not hunted, it was not challenged, it was waited for. And its name was Leviathan. There is something unsettling about how confidently ancient writers spoke about Leviathan, not as poetry, not as metaphor, but as a presence, real, dangerous, and deliberate. In the Hebrew Bible, Leviathan does not appear as a campfire legend, it appears as a demonstration of power. Most notably in the book of Job, one of the oldest and most intense philosophical texts ever written. Job, broken by suffering, dares to question why the world allows pain. God does not answer with comfort. Instead, he answers with perspective. He points to creation itself, and then he points to Leviathan, not as an enemy, but as proof. God describes a creature wrapped in natural armor, sealed by impenetrable scales. Spears glance off its body, arrows shatter, its breath ignites heat, its movement churns the sea into chaos. Even the ocean recoils when it rises. The message is not subtle. If humans cannot control Leviathan, how could they presume to understand divine order? This is not a fairy tale monster. This is chaos made flesh. And here is where things become disturbing. The text does not say Leviathan was. It speaks as if Leviathan is. At another point in the Psalms, Leviathan appears again, but this time defeated, crushed, broken apart, its remains scattered like spoils after a cosmic war. Scholars believe this reflects an ancient idea, older than Israel itself, that the world was shaped only after chaos was violently subdued. Then Isaiah adds something chilling. He does not speak in the past tense. He speaks of a future day, a time when Leviathan will be confronted once more, slain, punished, destroyed, not metaphorically, but deliberately. Why warn of a second destruction unless something survived the first? At this point, if you're enjoying this descent into ancient mysteries, this is where you should subscribe, not later, because the deeper we go, the less comfortable the answers become. Early Jewish writings outside the Bible went even further. They described Leviathan as so dangerous that its species had to be limited. One was destroyed to prevent the world from being overwhelmed. The other was left alive, contained, restrained, waiting. Waiting for what? According to these texts, Leviathan does not die quietly. Its end is public, symbolic, final. Its body becomes a feast. Its skin becomes light itself. Chaos is not erased, it is displayed as conquered. Which raises a troubling question. Why did ancient cultures, without shared language, borders, or contact, describe the same kind of creature? Because Leviathan was never alone. And in the next part, we uncover why civilizations separated by oceans all feared the same thing rising from the deep. What if Leviathan was not invented, but inherited? Long before Leviathan was written into Hebrew scripture, the ancient world was already fighting it. Not with ships, not with weapons, but with gods. Across continents that never shared maps or languages, civilizations told the same kind of story. A world threatened by a colossal force from the sea, a serpent, a dragon, a living embodiment of chaos, and always, always a final battle to restore order. This pattern appears so consistently that scholars gave it a name, Chaoskampf, the struggle against chaos. And once you recognize it, you start seeing Leviathan everywhere. Let's begin along the eastern Mediterranean coast in the ancient city of Ugarit, modern-day Syria. Over 3,000 years ago, scribes etched myths into clay tablets describing a terrifying sea entity named Lotan. Lotan was no ordinary beast. He was described as a massive, coiling serpent with multiple heads, a servant of the chaotic sea god Yam. Yam did not rule peacefully. He threatened the other gods, demanding dominance over the heavens themselves. To stop him, the storm god Baal rose to challenge the sea. Their battle was violent and cosmic. Thunder clashed with water. Order confronted chaos. When Baal finally struck down Yam and destroyed Lotan, balance was restored. Now, listen closely. Lotan is described using phrases like the twisting serpent, the fleeing serpent, and the dragon of the deep. Those exact phrases appear later, almost word for word, in Hebrew scripture. That is not coincidence. That is inheritance. And the people of Ugarit did not treat this story as fiction. They performed rituals meant to keep chaos sealed away. Bulls were sacrificed on mountaintops. Priests chanted incantations meant to bind the heads of the serpent. Carved figures of monsters were lowered into water and symbolically imprisoned. Chaos was not imagined, it was contained. If this is resonating so far, pause here and subscribe, because what happens next expands this pattern far beyond one culture. Travel east into ancient Mesopotamia. Here, chaos had a name even more terrifying, Tiamat. Tiamat was not merely a monster, she was the primordial ocean itself. From her waters, the gods were born. But when those gods disrupted the balance she embodied, Tiamat retaliated. She spawned monstrous beings, dragons, serpents, hybrids of nightmare, and appointed a champion to lead them. Once again, the storm god answered. Marduk, armed with wind and weapon, confronted Tiamat in a cataclysmic battle. He defeated her and then did something extraordinary. He split her body in two. From one half, he formed the heavens, from the other, the earth. Creation itself emerged from the corpse of chaos. And every year, Mesopotamian priests reenacted this victory through ritual. Fires burned, symbols of the sea were cut apart, order was renewed again and again, as if the world depended on remembering how chaos was defeated. Because maybe it did. Now move south into ancient Egypt. Each night, the sun god Ra sailed through the underworld, and every night a serpent named Apophis rose from the darkness to devour him. If Apophis succeeded, the sun would never rise again. Darkness would be permanent. Egyptian priests didn't leave this to chance. They crafted effigies of Apophis, stabbed them, burned them, and recited spells to weaken the serpent every single night, because chaos never slept, and neither did humanity's fear of it. Then, far to the north, in the frozen mythologies of Scandinavia, the pattern appears again. The Norse believed the world itself was encircled by a serpent so massive it held the oceans in place, Jormungand, the world serpent. When it finally rose, the end of all things would follow. At Ragnarok, Thor would kill it, but only at the cost of his own life. Chaos could be defeated, but never without consequence. So now we must ask the question that changes everything. How did cultures separated by oceans, centuries, and languages all describe the same enemy, the same battle, the same fear? In our next video, we leave mythology behind and descend into the modern ocean, where science itself begins to whisper the same warning. Because what if chaos never left? Myths are easy to dismiss until science starts finding the same shapes. For centuries, the deep ocean was beyond human reach. No lights, no maps, no witnesses, just darkness under pressure so extreme it crushes steel like paper. And yet, that is exactly where ancient texts said chaos lived. Today, we know something unsettling. Over 90% of Earth's oceans remain unexplored. We have better maps of Mars than we do of our own seabed. Vast regions beneath the waves have never been seen by human eyes. And when we finally began looking, the ocean answered back. Modern sonar mapping has revealed enormous underwater cavern systems, hollow chambers carved into the seafloor, some stretching for miles. These spaces are so large and so deep that sunlight has never touched them. They match ancient descriptions eerily well: the abyss, the deep, the foundations beneath the sea, places where something could hide. If you're still with me, this is one of those moments where subscribing matters, because from here on, we move from legend into recorded data. In 1997, scientists monitoring the Pacific Ocean recorded a sound so powerful it defied classification. It was ultra-low frequency, detected by sensors over 3,000 miles apart. NOAA named it the bloop. At first, it was blamed for ice movement, but the sound didn't behave like ice. It had a rise and fall consistent with biological motion, a signature eerily similar to animal vocalization. The problem? Whatever produced it would have needed to be many times larger than the largest whale ever recorded. To this day, the official explanation remains unresolved. And the location matters. The sound originated near one of the most complex undersea cavern networks ever mapped, a region of deep fractures, trenches, and voids beneath the ocean floor. Coincidence or echo? Then came the Baltic Sea discovery in 2011. Divers scanning the seabed encountered something circular, perfectly shaped, flat on top, ridged along the edges, a trail behind it as if something massive had moved or risen. Rocks around the object appeared scorched despite near-freezing temperatures. Some dismissed it as geology, others couldn't ignore the symmetry. The debate continues, but the shape remains. And then there's the Bermuda Triangle. Between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico lies one of the most dangerous regions of ocean on Earth. Ships vanish, aircraft disappear without distress calls, navigation systems fail. Yes, weather plays a role, rogue waves exist, but beneath the triangle lie deep fissures and sinkholes capable of swallowing vessels whole. Even today, much of that region remains unmapped. What if the danger isn't just above the water, but below it? In recent years, viral satellite imagery reignited speculation. Between South America and Antarctica, viewers noticed a massive shape beneath the ocean surface, suggesting eyes, a head, and a long body trailing into darkness. It could be pareidolia, it could be coincidence, but once you see it, the ancient stories stop feeling distant. And then there's Loch Ness. In 2025, new footage surfaced showing unexplained wakes moving side by side across the loch. No boats, no animals, just displacement, large, coordinated, deliberate. For centuries, similar sightings have persisted, always dismissed, always returning. Why do stories of sea monsters never disappear? Because fossils tell us something critical. Earth's oceans once belonged to creatures far beyond modern imagination. Mosasaurs, pliosaurs, predators with skulls longer than cars and teeth built to crush bone. Some exceeded 15 meters in length, others hunted whales. Humans lived alongside Ice Age megafauna. They saw giants, they buried bones, they remembered silhouettes, and memories become myths. So here is the question science cannot fully answer. If ancient humans encountered creatures capable of inspiring terror across generations, and if the ocean still hides spaces vast enough to conceal life beyond our understanding, then maybe Leviathan was never a fantasy. Maybe it was a warning. And in the final part, we confront the most disturbing idea of all, that ancient texts may not be describing what was, but what is still waiting to rise. If Leviathan was only a memory, then ancient writers would have spoken in the past tense, but they didn't. They warned about a return. In the book of Isaiah, Leviathan is not described as a defeated relic of creation. Instead, it is placed in the future. In that day, the text says, a phrase consistently used to signal judgment, upheaval, or the end of an age. The language is deliberate. Leviathan is called again the twisting serpent, the fleeing serpent, the dragon of the sea. And this time, its destruction is final, public, absolute. That implies something unsettling. For something to be destroyed in the future, it must still exist in some form before that day arrives. This idea echoes centuries later in the book of Revelation, where a great beast rises from the sea, multi-headed, overwhelming, empowered by chaos itself. Theologians debate whether this is symbolic, political, or spiritual, but its imagery is unmistakably ancient. The sea does not create monsters in Revelation, it releases them, and that distinction matters. Across cultures, chaos is never erased, it is restrained, sealed, bound, pushed into depths humans cannot reach. The sea becomes a prison, not because it destroys, but because it hides. And now, consider the modern world. Rivers with biblical significance are shrinking. Ancient riverbeds are cracking open, revealing caves and voids beneath. Oceans are behaving strangely, deep-sea creatures surfacing where they never should. Mass strandings without clear cause. Ecosystems shifting in ways science struggles to explain in real time. None of this proves prophecy, but it mirrors it closely enough to make people uneasy. Fossils add another layer. We know now that Earth's oceans were once ruled by creatures so immense that even modern science underestimated them. Pliosaurs with skulls over 2 meters long, ancient whales armed with teeth built to tear other whales apart, predators that dominated entire marine food chains. Early humans would have seen evidence of these giants, bones exposed by erosion, carcasses washed ashore, shadows beneath waves. They wouldn't have had biology, they would have had fear. And fear passed down long enough becomes story. Story becomes symbol. Symbol becomes warning. That is why Leviathan appears everywhere, not because cultures copied each other, but because they remembered the same terror in different languages. So here is the final question. What if Leviathan is not a single creature? What if it is a category, a name given to whatever lives beyond human control, beneath pressure, darkness, and time? Something rare, something patient, something that does not need to rise often to be remembered. The ocean has erased entire civilizations. It has swallowed ships, cities, histories, and even now we explore it like strangers knocking on a locked door. If something ancient still exists, the ocean is exactly where it would wait. And if ancient texts are correct, then Leviathan does not rise randomly. It rises when order weakens. So whether you see Leviathan as myth, memory, metaphor, or monster, the warning remains the same. There are forces older than us, deeper than us, and far more patient. If this series made you question what you think you know about the world beneath the waves, now is the moment to subscribe, because these stories don't end here, and neither does the mystery. The ocean has always kept its secrets. The real question is, what happens if it decides to return one of them? Until next time, keep watching the depths.